Hey, this is Khalid Nathan Aleem, Realtor with REMAX Experts, and welcome to the Real Estate Board channel. Today, we're going to talk about the two biggest soft costs when a buyer is buying a home, and we're about to start right now. Welcome back. Again, today we're going to talk about the two biggest soft costs when a buyer is buying a property. And the reason I say soft costs is because when people think about buying a home, they think about closing costs. They think about the down payment. A lot of people are focused on this. But what they miss is there are two big soft costs that a person incurs when they buy a home. Number one is the inspection, and number two is the appraisal. Now, the inspection is when we hire an inspection firm to dispatch an inspector to come to the property. Now, that inspector is going to comb through the property to look for issues. Now, the inspector can be there by themselves. You can have your realtor go, or you can go also. If you go, you're paying for the inspection, so you can walk around with the inspector and ask him all types of questions. Now, when he's done, he's going to furnish you a report that details everything that's wrong with the property. Now, those details are going to be in three categories. Number one, things that are acceptable. Number two, things that are marginal. And number three, things that are defective. Now, of course, we all know if something is okay, then you don't have to do anything with it. This is acceptable. For example, if the door works, the door handle works, he'll mark that as acceptable. Now, there may be things that are marginal. It doesn't mean that they're defective. It doesn't mean that they're defective, but the inspector just wants to draw your attention to that part or draw your attention to that specific item. Okay, for example, you may have a water tank. The life expectancy is usually around 20 years. Well, your water tank could be at 25 years, and it might work perfectly. But he just wants to let you know that this water tank is past its life expectancy, so he'll put that on there as marginal. And then you have things that are just defective, and that means that they don't work. Okay, and they want to draw your attention. Now, that inspector works for you. Okay, please get that straight. That inspector works for you. So again, you can follow him around, ask him all types of questions, and he'll be more than happy to answer all of them. So that's for a home inspection. People usually get a radon test. A radon test is going to test radon gas. Gas, what they say, is a very, very deadly gas. And you want to test, and if it's above a certain level, then what happens is the seller does remediation, means brings that level of radon down. Then you have termites. You can also get a termite test, and a termite test sees if they're termites. All right, so that's one aspect. That's the one soft cost is inspection. And inspections, it depends on where you're at, but they usually run around $700 if you get all three of those tests. And there are other tests outside of the three that I mentioned. And the second soft cost that we're going to talk about is an appraisal. Now, the appraisal is when an appraiser comes and they're going to write down the details of your home. So they're going to record that your home is 3 bedrooms. It has 2 baths. There's a finished basement. It has hardwood floors on the first floor and carpet on the second floor. And then what they're going to do is compare those details to other recently sold comparable homes in the area. And what they're going to do is come up with a price. Now, that price is important for the bank, because if the bank is giving you a loan, they want to make sure that they're loaning you the appropriate amount. So if the bank is loaning you $300,000 and the appraisal comes back that the home is only worth $100,000, then the bank is only going to give you $100,000. So that's why the appraisal is definitely an important part in the transaction. And those are your two biggest soft costs, the inspection and the appraisal. And there you have it. So if you're looking to sell, buy, or invest in real estate, I got you. It's the Real Estate Boy. Take care.